friends, and welcome to my homestead. My name is Elizabeth. Today we are going to be canning up some jam, baking, and doing a little bit of herbal medicine and restocking a few things in my freezer. So I'm making room in my freezer and I'm using some of my frozen strawberries up. I have a quart of peaches here that I canned up this fall, and then I have a little bit of my rhubarb that looks really pathetic. I'm going to be getting some new rhubarb this year and I'm going to be planting it in a better spot, so hopefully I will get a nicer abundance. And that's what it looked like because it was in the shade. It likes lots of sun, so I have a special place for my rhubarb this year. So I'm just adding about 3 pounds of fruit. I didn't have enough strawberries and rhubarb, so I'm adding a filler fruit, and I chose peaches I thought would be good with these strawberries and rhubarb, and it turned out so delicious. So I have 3 pounds of fruit, and then I'm adding 6 cups of sugar, or around about. And then for my acid, I am going to be using lemon juice, and I'm going to be using about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I'm going to cook this until it gets thicker. I will do the freezer test. So I think I cooked this, I didn't really have a time, but I'm guessing it was at least 40 minutes until it thickened up. I had it on low and slow though, so I could go do things around the house, because of course I like to multitask. Sometimes that's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing. But that's 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and I'm also pressure canning up a gallon of milk. It makes 9 pints. And then to this mix, I'm also adding a half a bottle of water, just because I don't want it to burn on the bottom, and it'll cook out. I tried this jam on my biscuits that I made too on this day, and it was so yummy. Look how vibrant those colors are. This year, I can't wait. I'm going to be growing some strawberries and rhubarb. I do have rhubarb plants in areas that they do not like, so they're not doing well. So that's why they're so skinny. But I can't wait for this year's gardening season, and hopefully in the upcoming videos I can show you my seed starting, so I will be excited about that. So this is what it looked like. I zipped it up with my stick blender, and it's been cooking for a little bit, but it's definitely not finished yet. Here I am doing the freezer test, so I took a little cap off my sun butter, and I have a little bit of jam in there, and I'm going to pop it in the freezer for about 2 minutes, and we'll see if this jam is ready to be jarred up. Okay, it looks like it's ready, and I have a whole different variety of jars, and my biggest jars are pints, so I'm going to be steam canning these for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to let them set overnight, and then I will take the rings off, and then definitely don't forget to label them and then put them away, and then they'll be given for gifts or making goodies. Look, we're going to be making some pastries today, and I wanted to show you how I make my turnovers, and they turned out delicious. So now we're going to clean the rims, and then I'm using the 4 jars canning lids, which are my favorite, and we're going to get those cleaned off and get the rings on and the lids on, and then we're going to process these for 20 minutes, and then we'll have this beautiful jam on our shelves. So I'm thinking about what I want to start for my seeds. So I think I'm going to start some peppers, some of the seeds that I saved off of the veggies that I purchased at the farmer's market. So I'm going to be doing some peppers, and I should also start some onions. I'd like to grow a better potato harvest this year, and I'll be doing some fun things like blueberries, and we're going to do some cherry bushes. We're also going to be doing a couple pear trees, And then I'm going to be putting in some herbs, of course. I do have one medicinal plant that I ordered. It's a Rose rugosa. And we're going to be doing grapes, the seedless grapes, some sweet stevia. And then for the spices, I'm getting rosemary, cilantro, dill, sweet basil, and then some thyme and lemon balm. And then for my other medicinal herb, I'm getting German chamomile. And then I'm going to be planting some beets, greens, potatoes, of course. And what else is on my list? I have carrots, cucumber, red potatoes, and then I have Yukon Golds. And then I'm just sticking with Roma tomatoes because that's what I love for our tomato sauce and our spaghetti sauce. We'll be doing some strawberries, sugar peas, onions, spinach, bush beans, zucchini, butternut squash, and pumpkins. And I think I have a lettuce. Yep, we have romaine lettuce, radishes, and another sweet onion. So that's going to be quite a growing season, I hope. Fingers crossed. And this is the gallon of milk that I canned up. So I did look up how long it lasts for. It lasts for about 1 year to 5, but it never lasts that long in my house because I use it for my coffee and for cooking. It helps out a lot, and it's shelf stable for a while, so that's really nice. And I finally made another batch of my doggo's treats. I used buttercup squash this time, and they're super hot, so I could hardly touch them, and I was just excited to show you guys that it's super, super easy, and then you can whip out 2 weeks worth of cookies. Now we are going to be making a full puff pastry for our turnovers, and I'm going to be using my homemade jam that we made for these wonderful goodies, and these turned out so amazing as well. So here I have 30 grams of butter. And then you're going to add around about 240 grams of flour and the same amount of flour as salted butter. So I just use a stick and a half, and then 130 grams of water. And this recipe is going to be on my blog, and my dog treat recipe is on my blog, as well as my biscuit recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out, and then I'm going to put the tabs of butter. So I'm going to cut a stick and a half of butter up and then put the little tabs inside of this dough. And I'm going to cut it up like that, little tabs, and I am putting it right in the center so I can fold this all in like a little book. And this is what's going to make the layers, is you're going to fold it like a little book, roll it, and then put it in the fridge for 30-minute intervals. And then you're going to do that about 3 or 4 times, and then you're going to achieve amazing layers. Now this, I can say, is one of my husband and I's favorite dessert. And they're about $5 for only 4, and this actually makes 8. So it is definitely worth making them yourself. And you'll find that after you do it a few times, it is easy, and it is definitely worth it. I actually forgot about this, and I got so busy doing other things that I waited till the next day to fill them and bake them. So I rolled this out, I would say 3 times, and then the 4th time the next day. So it looks like a little book, and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge with a little bit of saran wrap. And I do still use a little bit of saran wrap, especially for things like this, so I can just chuck it. But this is another roll. See how it's nice and hard and it all mended together. And that's what's going to make the beautiful layers. And you can add any jelly or jam for filling. A lot of my jam spilled out because it was a little runnier than I liked, but that's okay. I popped them right out and put frosting on it, and it was super delicious. So I'm going to show you here what the butter looks like. You see, you can still see the butter. So it's definitely not ready yet. We're going to roll that out a few more times, and then I'm going to let it rest for half an hour intervals, and we are going to get these all baked up. So I'm popping it in the fridge again for another 30 minutes, and I'm going to come back, and then we're going to roll these out and fill them. So this is the final roll the next day, and I'm going to cut these in 8 little triangles and then get the jelly on it. And I am going to brush a little milk on top and a little milk on the edges just to give it a seal, even though the edges kind of still had the jelly leak out of it, but that's okay. I gave it a little rustic look. Then we're going to bake these at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And look at how wonderful they looked in all the layers. I had to pop them off the baking sheets because they fell out and kind of got a little burnt on the side, but they still retained a little bit of jelly. And the milk that I brushed on top made it have a nice little brown crust, and they were super flaky. And for the frosting, I just used a little bit of butter and powdered sugar. So I used about a half stick of butter and a cup and a half of powdered sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're going to get these all glazed up and, of course, try one. I've been experimenting with different flavors with powdered sugar because just powdered sugar and milk taste terrible to me. I don't know why. It tastes like a metallic taste, but if you add butter to it, it totally changes the whole game, and it makes it taste so wonderful. I have bought in turnovers many times, and I've also made them when I was a baker at Price Chopper, and they have not tasted as good as these. So I hope you guys do try this recipe and let me know what you think. Now this day also we are going to be stocking up on my biscuits, and the recipe is on my blog. So I like stocking up on my freezer items so I can have different sides, or I like having biscuits for breakfast with jam and butter on it. Tastes amazing. And then I also like having it for sides, for having like a spaghetti night or something, or even like a soup night, or with a casserole. They're really delicious. And it's a sourdough recipe, but since it has baking powder and baking soda, you do not have to let it rise. You can just bake them right away. And the secret to getting them to rise really high is shredding your butter from the fridge. You take it right out of the fridge and you shred it just like cheese, and it makes beautiful tall biscuits. I love stocking up my freezer on my days off. So I make bagels and I make these biscuits, and I do a lot of other things. We don't really do freezer meals, but I am looking on doing that just so when I have to work the whole weekend and I come home and I just do not want to cook. So taking a meal out of the freezer. I do have some canned meals, but it's just like soup and whatnot. So I would like to do some freezer meals as well. That would make it really convenient. So I wanted to show you a typical homestead meal that I have on a typical day. I'm trying to feed my hubby, and he's healing from a hip surgery. He had broken his hip about 4 weeks ago. So I'm trying to feed him nutritious meals. And the doctor said that he shouldn't be eating sweets or anything, so we're doing it in moderation. So on this night, I am making fish and chips. I decided that I was going to make some French fries, and I'm putting herbs de Provence, which I am going to show you today how I make. That's towards the end of the video. And I cut them into little potato wedges, and I got them on a baking sheet. I'm going to cook them for around 40 minutes at 375. For the fish, I have some tilapia and bullhead, and then I chopped up 2 key limes, which I bought just to make some cookies with. I can't wait to show you guys this. It's from one of my cookbooks that I got, one of my sourdough cookbooks. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to the top, and then my key lime. I did put it in the oven with the fish, and then I had to cover it because it was starting to get too dark. So I had it on 375, and then I turned it down to 350 just to finish, and I covered it with a little bit of parchment paper so it wouldn't burn. And that's what it looks like. It was super delicious. I was really surprised. It gave it a perfect citrus taste. I love key limes. And the potatoes turned out perfect with the herbs de Provence. And of course, I wanted to show you my first grocery haul after the pantry challenge. So I'm super excited. It's not very much, but we didn't really need that much. So here's my grocery haul I got from Walmart and Aldi's. This is what I got from Walmart. I got some sharp cheddar cheese because you know I like to make my jalapeno cheddar bagels and we like to snack on cheese. I also got some cottage cheese and cream cheese because the hubs likes to have all of his bagels with cream cheese. And of course I got some coffee for me, some Dunkin'. And then I got some prune juice, and that is for our health. So that's necessary. And then I also promised my cats I'd get them their Temptations. It's like cat crack for them. Then I also got some orange juice with calcium in it. That's good for the hubs and his healing process. And then I got some naughty snacks. I love these pretzel crackers. And I also got Ritz, the roasted vegetable kind. I love having some extra crackers on the side. I did get some chicken. I like using this for us, and then I do cook chicken for my pups. This was around $8, so I thought that was a really good deal. I usually go for the meat on sale. I got these pork chops for $8. And then I got the steak for around $7.57. And then the sausages, there is actually 2 layers there. So I got this for $8. I thought that was a really good deal. And then I had to re-up my cat food, and I get my boys a urinary tract formula. Because last time we were at the vet clinic, they had crystals in their urine, and that's no bueno. So this is the diet that I give them. And that was around $96.96 for Walmart. And then my Aldi's haul, I got some bananas here. And I got some romaine lettuce, the only lettuce that has vitamins in it. And then I got some grapefruit, because I really do love grapefruit. I love all citrus, actually. And then we got some little baby oranges here. And then I also got myself some cherry tomatoes because I'm missing all my cherry tomatoes. I love fresh little cherry tomatoes. You just pop in your mouth like a grape. Then I have some zucchini here. I'll probably make a salad with that. And that was around $17 that I spent there. And my grand total for both places that I went to, Walmart and Aldi's, was $114.44. Big spender, but that's okay. I'm glad I didn't spend that much. And I just wanted to show you guys what is happening on the homestead. So our closet was leaking because there was so much ice on the roof. And look at this. It's like a wave coming off of my roof of ice and snow. It is so thick. It's about 6 inches on my roof. And all we heard all weekend was swoosh and then boom. Not all of it came off, but that is crazy. It is literally about to fall. So I should probably get out of the way. But I just wanted to show you how crazy that looks in the front of the house. And the back of the house does not look any better. So there was so much snow, we literally had a privacy fence of snow on the road. It was nice. And here we are going to be making my herbs de Provence. So all I do to make this spice that I use in almost all of my meats and whatnot, I use Italian seasoning. I order that online off Amazon, and then I use lavender flower. And then I'm just going to layer that all up and get that made and use it on my meats. And then I'm going to be making some rose water. And I ordered this off Amazon as well. And then I have distilled water. And then I forgot to show that I added a little bit of my mint extract. So here I am making my rose water. I'm just taking a handful of rose petals and putting it in my jar. So that's what that looks like. And then I'm just going to add the distilled water. And I changed my container afterwards because I changed my mind. I often do that. But all it is adding rose petals and distilled water. And then you let that set for 3 days. And you can use this water for an astringent for your face. Use it as a spray to refresh yourself. You can use it for traveling, to perk you up a bit and make you feel nice and fresh. You can also use it as a room spray and it smells wonderful. You can add it to your bath. You can also use it for making soap. And then you can also add a little bit of rose essential oil, just a few drops to make it smell more rosy. But it lasts about a year. So I forgot to show you guys, I just added a little bit of mint extract. I did change containers. So I put it in a gallon jar and I added about a shot, which is about 2 tablespoons of mint extract, so nothing goes rancid. So this is what it looks like now. I have it in a gallon jar. I'm going to let that sit for 3 days and then strain it out and use it accordingly, like for my face spray and my room spray and whatnot, and for soap making. And I will take you along with me when I do that. And this is how I make my herbs de Provence. I just layer Italian seasoning and lavender, and it makes a wonderful season for seasoning meat. I season my French fries with it, and you can add it in your breads, in your bread baking and whatnot. It is super delicious. And it's definitely cheaper to make yourself than buying it at the store. I love making all of my spices myself, or the ones that I can make. I do love making myself. I buy usually in bulk. It makes it more frugal that way. It's a bigger price, but you can usually find sales and whatnot, but it lasts you for so much longer. And here is my mint extract. I wanted to show you guys me straining it out. I'm going to be using this in different recipes, and I have some cookie recipes I'm super excited to show you guys. The Thin Mints, I want to make some of those, and just different frostings would be super yummy to try this. And then add it to different things would be super delicious. So you can do this with oranges. I would advise using dried oranges. You can make lemon extract, mint extract. You can do vanilla extract with vanilla beans. The possibilities are endless with extracts, and they last indefinitely. And all I did to make this is I filled up the whole jar with my dried mint, and then I poured vodka over it, and then I shook this for about once or twice a day for 2 weeks and let it set for 4 to 6 weeks, and it made that beautiful extract. And here is the front. That big wave of snow finally fell off, but I still have a whole bunch more to go. So that's the front, and I was going to show you the back too, but still looks crazy. But look how thick that was. And I have my dogs going out on the side of my house now because it is super dangerous even on my back porch. I am definitely getting spring fever. I can't wait for spring to come so I can start my garden. But this is what it looks like in the back. There's still so much, and look how thick that is. It's super dangerous, especially if you were to be underneath it. So I'm staying away from that. I just wanted to thank you all for watching, and I would love it if you would subscribe and share and like my video. It helps with the algorithm. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Many blessings, and I will see you on the next video, friends.